Weddings-ish, 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 with Jove.
This episode is brought to you by Generation Tux, the perfect suit or tuxedo delivered straight to your door. GenerationTux.com. Well, hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to Weddings-ish with Jove, a podcast all about love, joy, and weddings-ish with a special guest each episode. I couldn't be more excited to be joined in studio by Erika Hammond, the co-founder of Rumble, a former WWE Diva, and the founder of Knockout at Equinox. I mean, what an introduction.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. I am obsessed with your wedding in Egypt, as is most of the world. And I want to dive into that. But first, I need to get to know a little bit more about you, because that was a mouthful.
It was a lot.
It was
I've lived
a lot.
a lot of different lives.
I was going to say, but all in kind of the fitness world?
Yes. It didn't all start in the fitness world.
Okay, where did she begin?
I'm from Waco, Texas.
Wait,
that's
like
a fun
Chip and
fact.
Joanna Gaines?
That's a fun fact about me, yes.
Okay, not that you want to be associated with them,
No,
but that's
you know,
what's in my brain.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they've
Waco,
really
Texas.
helped Waco, actually, recently.
They did. I went there as a tourist.
Yeah, see?
It's a cute town.
It's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute. We're glad I'm in New York now.
Okay. Yeah, she stayed. She was born there and then she left there.
out.
You got out.
So I moved to LA when I was 19 as an internship in PR.
Okay.
So that was where kind of everything started. And from there, I just started saying, I was like a yes girl.
Okay.
I just started
because
saying
you're
yes.
19 and this was your first job?
It was my first job.
Okay.
And I ended up staying there. I was modeling at the time as well.
Oh, okay.
And so,
she's gorgeous, a model and PR.
And that's how I got into WWE.
Got it.
And then from there.
As a model?
Yes.
Okay, so are they all models or were you?
No. So
Okay.
some of them come from like the indie wrestling world.
Got it. Which makes sense because
Yes.
it's wrestling.
Yes. And then some of us, we learn.
Okay.
And so I came in as a model. I was very athletic growing up.
Yeah.
I learned how to wrestle. And from there, when I left WWE, I always loved fitness.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it went
from there. Like that was the bug that kind of started it.
Yes.
But it was like a casting call for a model or did you audition to be I
was-
said wrestler, but you said diva. It's a
So
diva.
It's a diva. I went on a casting call. My agent at the time sent me on it, and it was for hosting for them.
Oh, so
And I
not
was
as
like,
a wrestler.
Okay, yeah, great.
Yeah, I can talk on camera about this.
If you know WWE, every host at some point in time wrestles.
Got it. They get in the
so
ring.
you have to be athletic.
Yep.
And whenever you go through this process, this casting call is 2 weeks, you wrestle the whole time.
For 2 weeks.
Yes.
And you had never wrestled
I
before
never,
in your life.
No. They
Yeah.
teach you, obviously.
Sure.
But they realized that I was athletic. And
Yeah.
they're like, I don't know if we want you to be a host.
Uh-huh.
I think you're going to be
We want
a wrestler.
more.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And did you just embrace it? You were like, I'm now going to
Totally.
be on TV as a wrestler?
Totally.
That's
I had an
wild.
alter ego. My name was Veronica Lane.
Veronica
for
Lane.
2 years.
Wow.
When you're in that world, they don't call you your real name.
Only your alter ego.
Yes. So for 2 years, I was just Veronica.
Oh my gosh.
And when
Was
I came
that
back
filmed
to-
in LA or where was that?
We were in Florida.
In Florida. So for 2 years you lived in Florida. So
Mhm.
Waco, Texas, LA, Florida. And then how did you decide the time was up at WWE?
I got injured. I was giving someone a backbreaker.
Okay, so my brother was a big fan back in the day. Like I remember him watching it and I was always like, can we change the channel? Like that wasn't
You're
for
like,
me.
I'm not into this.
Exactly. But what's a backbreaker?
It is, you take your opponent
Yep.
and you kind of bend them over your knee and you're like giving
Literally?
them a backbreaker,
Okay.
you know?
Oh my
And instead, they broke my knee.
Oh, whoa.
Not broke it,
Sure,
but I
sure.
tore my meniscus.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was out for, I don't know, a month or so.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to go into the facility.
Got it.
And I wasn't traveling. So I got a taste of my real world again,
Uh-huh.
quote unquote. And I was like, I miss my family. I miss
Yeah.
my friends.
You miss
I
your
miss
normal
LA.
life. Yeah.
And that's when I decided,
To move
I
on.
think my time is up here.
Amazing. And then from there, was it right to sort of rumble or how did you get into boxing?
I moved to LA. I'd been boxing since I was 14.
Okay.
And I just always loved it.
Something from the family or you just found it
Just
on your
found
own?
it,
I love that.
And it was super empowering.
Yeah.
When you're a teenager going through a lot.
Get all the angst out,
Yes.
all the rage.
And so I always loved the way it made me feel. So when I moved back to LA, I was like, I'm going to become a fitness trainer. I don't know how to teach people how to box.
Sure.
But
I know how to box.
Yeah. And I'm going to learn how to teach them. And so I kind of started from the ground up
Okay.
in that profession.
Yeah.
And Then eventually I made my name known in the fitness boxing world. And someone reached out to me and was like, hey, we're thinking about opening this place, this
Like a fitness concept.
Yeah, fitness concept in the boxing. It's in New York. And I was like, who is this? And why are they reaching out? I live in LA.
Sure. You're like, I'm an LA girl.
Yeah. And it made sense. We all had the same thoughts of what we wanted. So I moved to New York within a 2 weeks notice.
So you're just a traveling girl. I mean, you just ping pong everywhere.
I'm open. I've always been open to opportunities
that come your way. But that's part of it. I feel like if you were closed to anything, like imagine if your life would be what it is today. You know what I mean? So you moved to New York and started that company, which is Rumble, which is the boxing fitness.
Yes.
Look at me. Clearly I go. Clearly I go.
Close. She's
Clearly I know how to box. Our mutual friend Sam who's an instructor, keeps trying to get me to go to a class. I'm like, this is how I do it. So we'll do it. It'll be fun. Yes. Okay. So you started that, which is now, I mean, it's all over the country.
We sold in 2021 to Exponential.
Wow.
Who franchises. They have Pure Barre, Row House, things that you probably know like that. And so we sold to them. So now they're literally all over the world.
Yeah. That's wild.
Which is so exciting.
And you never set out to do this.
No.
So you've got to be like impressed by yourself at some point.
Amazing.
To be like,
it's amazing.
Oh, I did that.
Yeah. It's incredible. But I left there right before we sold.
Okay.
And then I partnered with Equinox and launched a new class and program for them called Knockout.
Yes, which is also boxing.
Also boxing. It's shadow boxing.
Okay, which is for the layman boxer over here.
It is not hitting a bag. So at Rumble, you hit a bag.
Shadow
boxing. You might like shadow boxing.
Oh, there's no just air.
It's just air, but you have light hand weights. So it's really good for your arms.
Got it. Is that how Michelle Obama has her arms?
Yes.
It
was part of my wedding workout.
Okay, it's shadow boxing.
Obviously, because I teach it still. But
I mean...
But it's shadow boxing, strength work. It's like a fun way to learn boxing where you get a killer full body workout.
Got it. And can you do it digitally or only in person?
With Equinox, it's only in person.
Okay.
I do also have my own app
that
you can do digitally.
Got it.
And that kind of developed during COVID.
Got it. Because everyone needed a way to work out remotely. Yes. Wow. So this is amazing. Like literally from a wrestling diva to a boxing diva to a boxing businesswoman.
Yeah.
This is really incredible. And then where in this timeline did you meet your fiance?
So that's fun because we met at Rumble.
Okay. You were his teacher?
I was his teacher.
Wait, that's like really hot. I think. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit of a thing.
I know.
Okay. Did you spot him when he walked in?
No. He started coming to my class a few years before we actually went on our first date.
Oh, so he'd been like seeing you for years.
We were both in different relationships at the time, you know, but he was like on my VIP list. So I'd like call him out. I'd be like, Ankur, you're doing really great.
Which is like amazing.
But then a few years later, we were both single. He ended up asking me out on a date, which we were both actually working out together in the class. I wasn't teaching it. You weren't
teaching it, so you were taking it.
Yeah, and I was like so sweaty. And he's like, do you want to go to drinks after? I'm like, I don't bring things to like shower and change into. I just like go home.
Cute. Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, yeah, I guess. I'm like in sweats and like.
Were you totally taken aback or did you have some sense like there was some flirtation building?
I was kind of taken aback, to be honest.
Yeah. But, and you're sweaty and you were not the teacher.
Yeah, but we went to the Addition in Nomad.
Yeah, which is beautiful.
So great.
Did you sit downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous bar.
Yeah, had some dirty martinis, some truffle fries.
Okay, are you vodka or gin?
Vodka.
Okay.
A Tito's girly.
Neat or dirty?
From Texas.
That's true.
Filthy.
Filthy.
Little extra.
Filthy and extra. Got it.
But yeah, and then a few years, like, I don't know, that was maybe December before COVID. And I don't know, we went on a few dates, but then COVID really
bonded you together.
Yes, we were like modern day pen pals. We just FaceTimed every single day.
But he's also in New York and you were in New York?
We both left New York.
Because of COVID?
Yes, because of COVID. His family has a house in the British Virgin Islands and my family lived in the Bahamas.
Got it. So you were both in the islands.
Yes, but they weren't close enough to each other
to like take a boat or hang out. Okay.
And so we just FaceTimed every single day for like 3 months. And then at the end of it, I was like, I think I love this guy.
Oh my God. In 3 months.
Yeah.
That's kind of very sweet.
I know.
Because he had been trying, I'm curious if he was here, what his side of the story would be. Like, had he been like trying to flirt with you when you were both single for a long time?
It's funny when when people ask and I'm like, you go ahead and tell it. I want to hear what you have to say.
Of course, because it's always similar but not the same.
There's a little different detail.
Yeah. So then how did the proposal happen?
So have you ever heard of the Summit at One Vanderbilt?
Why do I know? Is that the one
like
with like all the silver balls and
glass.
mirrors? Yes.
So his partners own that space.
Got it.
And before the holidays, there was like one day that it was completely closed to the public.
Wow.
And he had asked them if he could take it over.
And this is how long into dating? Like a year later or 2 years later?
2.5.
Okay. Oh, great. So this wasn't like a...
Yeah. No.
Got it. She was in love, but she was respectable.
Yes. 2.5 years later. And he took it over. And I thought we were going for a Christmas party, for a holiday party. And I show up. There's like holiday party signs. There's a coat check.
Oh, like he fully did a whole fake out.
The whole mile. He hired actors to check in their coats
guests
while we were there.
Wow.
So I wouldn't get like weirded out. Like, why is no one else? Yeah.
I love this.
And so they went into the elevator with us. And you go up this elevator. It's really high up. And so you go up this elevator for a while. And I still have no idea.
Because the actors are there just pretend. Sometimes they like overact in those scenarios,
and you're like,
but you didn't notice.
Weird?
You weren't like, you were just sort of like, other people are going.
And our friends we had a couple with us as well.
Okay.
And then when the elevator door opened, I heard romantic music. Everyone in the elevator was staring at me. Ankur got out first, which I was like, that's rude.
Yeah, you're like, excuse you.
And then he grabs my hand. I'm like, it's happening.
Oh my gosh.
I'm shaking. I was shaking the whole entire time.
I love this.
Oh my gosh. In the videos, you can't tell, but I'm like,
yeah.
It was so cute though. There was like a couple different stations where he had dirty martinis.
Filthy.
Our first date drinks. There was like a couple other little surprises. There was flowers everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Candles and Erika, will you marry me when he got down on the knee. And then our dog came out.
What kind of dog?
A French bulldog.
Oh my gosh. What's the name?
Boy. Jacques.
Jacques?
Like Jacques Cousteau.
Jacques.
Yes.
Oh my God, so cute. Jacques. I love animals with human names. It's like the best.
Why not?
I have a Sadie.
Oh.
And a sausage, which is not a human name, but anyways, I digress. Okay, so your dog was there.
Yeah, dog came out with that little bow tie on. The eyes just started like loose. I lost it then. And then our family ran out. Our friends ran out. Our closest family and friends. And they had all been like live streaming the proposal in the back.
So everyone else was watching. And you literally, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is like from a movie.
Yeah, it was so sweet. I was so surprised. Then after that, he had another surprise where we went to the audition.
And where you had your first date.
Yes. And a larger group of people came and it was like, it was bigger than our wedding, I think, how many people were there.
At the audition. Upstairs or downstairs?
It was, so this one was actually the audition in Times Square.
Beautiful.
Because it was closer to the
the green room with like all the greenery. Yeah,
yes.
So pretty.
Yes,
so pretty.
That's exactly where it was at.
So you literally were just like kept being surprised over and over and over.
I was totally on adrenaline. I was like, what's happening?
That's amazing. You know what? Cheers to him.
Yeah.
Cheers to your now husband and then fiance. Like that's
I know. He did
amazing.
so good.
Yeah.
He did so well.
And you had no inkling until the elevator moment.
No. I knew we were going to get engaged
Sure,
at some
you were
point.
serious.
We had talked about it.
Were you living together?
We were living together.
Yeah.
We had talked about it. I mean, I had, gone ring shopping and told him what I wanted.
Did you tell? So you were clear. You weren't like one of those fiancés in the phone that
Surprise
was
me.
like diamond cut, Tiffany ring.
I was like, so I tried on a few different things. Here's what I think that I like. And by I think, I was like cushion cut, like hidden halo. Single gold band.
I love this. But I respect that because you don't want something on your finger that you don't like.
I know. And then I'm the person that can't hide. Like if you give me a bad present, I'm like.
Same. I can do it over the phone, but if you see my face, it's over.
Yeah.
Sometimes with clients, I'm like, I shouldn't say this. I'm like, let's
so
do a phone call. I can't have a Zoom right now because you can't see my face.
Though. Your expression, like.
It says it all. Well, let me see her. I mean, I saw her when you walked in.
Two of them.
Wow, beautiful. And that's the band, and that's
the band. I completely picked out.
Okay,
the band. He was just like, I don't know, and so I just went and picked out both of our bands.
That's amazing. So then you celebrated that high, I'm sure, through the holidays because this was now December, like before Christmas.
November, and we decided that we weren't even going to talk about our wedding. That was one thing we didn't know what we wanted to do for our wedding at that point. So we were like, let's just celebrate the high like you
and
said.
you should like soak in that moment.
And not be like, let's go into planning mode.
Which a lot of people do, and I just don't recommend it. Like that is an iconic moment that deserves at least 30 days.
Free.
Yeah, like 30 days of celebrating and all your friends taking you out to dinner and saying congratulations. And I'm sure you've told the story now.
She just got engaged. And then there's
so
like
many
champagne
times.
that comes out.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, I'll live in this.
You're like, I'll be engaged forever. So then that lasted for a little while. And then when did you start to seriously think about the wedding?
We said in January, we'll start to talk about like what we want, when we want it.
Yeah.
And we were just going through a million different ideas. And I think we didn't actually decide.
Like literally the world was your oyster.
Yeah.
Like you no connection anywhere. You could go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, and I kept saying like his family's house in the British Virgin Islands, I was like,
Very
I
pretty.
feel like that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone can
Island
come.
wedding.
Yeah.
All live together.
And he was like, let's just like think outside the box. And we ended up going to Egypt in April.
Okay.
So a few months later. And it was
as tourists or for
tourists.
work? Okay.
Well, and he had been a couple of times before. And it was always like the most magical trip he had ever had. And he always
And it was your
talked about
first time?
My first time.
It's incredible.
I'm fascinated by ancient Egyptian history. And so, oh my God, I was just so taken aback. It's stunning. And one of the like most famous Egypt archaeologists, Zahi Hawass, Dr. Zahi Hawass, is a good friend of his.
Okay.
And so he had set up some really cool experiences for us. We got to meet him.
Like once in a lifetime experiences.
And while he was there, he was like, I want to be your priest. And I was like, I don't think you can just call yourself a priest.
That's not really how that works.
I'm like, I don't think you can know yourself a priest. But he was like, I want to be a priest. I want to marry you.
Yeah.
And I want to marry you right here in front of the Sphinx.
Like he just said it.
Yes.
And you don't think your now husband had any like backdoor deals?
Who knows? But
okay.
No, I don't think so. If you've like Zahi is very
forward.
Yes, he's very forward.
So
he
that
has
was
a
very
massive
like
personality. It's very him.
Expected for him to just tell you what he wants.
Which I didn't know then.
Got
but
it.
like now I know him very
for
well.
Sure,
I'm
for
like,
sure.
okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
He's since I'm going to fast forward to our wedding. He has since named our first child.
Stop.
So he is very much like that.
That you have or don't have?
Don't have.
There's no
don't have. And it was in front of everyone at our wedding. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow. You're like, we'll think about that.
I'm like, thank you so much.
Are you going to use the name?
I don't know.
Okay. And no, obviously no pressure, but okay. So that's just who he is.
Yes.
Got
totally
it. Okay.
Who he is.
So he pronounced that.
Yes. He pronounced that.
Physically in front of the pyramids.
In front of the Sphinx.
Okay.
And we're there, right there in front of the Sphinx. I'm like, honestly, amazing idea.
Yeah.
Like, how incredible would this be for us, obviously,
100%.
but for our family and friends? And that was kind of something that we had been thinking about this for like past 4 months is, yes, we want something special for us, but we want to do something special for all the people that have supported us.
Yeah.
And it's not just a once in a lifetime experience for us.
Yeah, but for all of your guests.
For them as well.
For sure. Because they've supported your relationship.
Yes.
They've seen you through everything. They know your love story. So did you sort of like seal the deal at that point, or it kind of started to become more real at that moment?
It started to become more real at that moment. And then, and then we were like, okay, we got to find.
Like, can we actually do it?
Yes. How does this work?
Yeah.
There's some permits you have to get. There's a lot of things that go behind.
Because you closed down the pyramid. You privatized the pyramids.
The pyramids do close every day at 4 p.m.
Okay.
And so they were closed. So we didn't take anything away from anyone.
Got it.
Like,
sure.
Yeah, I saw that people were like, oh my God, could you imagine like tourists coming and it's closed?
If you went for the trip of a lifetime and it was closed.
I completely agree. That would be so
100%.
sad. We didn't do that.
Sure.
They were still open the full day.
And then they closed at 4 and your wedding started after.
But just normally you can't have events there.
Sure. You're the first wedding ever there?
At the Sphinx, yes.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's literally, I mean, when I saw the picture, I was like, is this AI? Like all these AI photos going around. And then I kept seeing it. I was like, no, this is real. Like you got married. I've been there and it's like it's a remarkable experience to stand there. But I can't imagine the two of you in your ceremony space, which was kind of, I want to talk about that. It was like a beautiful circle of just you.
Yes.
And even your officiant was off to the side. So how did you make that decision? Was that the planner? Was that you?
So Honestly, I think it was the day before.
Okay.
Like obviously it was all built out and
Yeah.
our planners had built out this incredible, so that's not there as you
Sure.
know. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
completely like
Dirt.
desert dirt.
Yeah.
And so they built out this incredible venue. And the day before we were like thinking about the photos and we're like, you know, everyone says you got to make sure your officiant's not there in the first kiss. And
Yep. Otherwise it's like a weird three-way.
yes.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Some people
love
like
it.
that. I'm not, listen, I mean, if that's what you want, I'm here for it. But like most people aren't making out with their
Yeah.
officiant. Most people.
And so we were trying to figure out what's the best way. Like there was a lot of, you know, it was a room to walk. There was a lot of space to walk to get out the photo. And so the day before they kind of put this little pillar for him there and that's where we decided.
And you were like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And how long was the ceremony?
The ceremony was short.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe like 15 minutes.
Okay, so like in and out for that part.
Yes.
And then cocktail hour, dinner, dancing, everything was in that same space.
So no, it was at a different location. So that
so
was
that was ceremony only.
Yeah, so that was ceremony only. So they built this
Wow.
space. However, people were hanging out maybe for like 15, 20 minutes before.
Of course, taking selfies, getting.
Yes,
I mean, like
having
if you're,
champagne.
of course,
We had our entertainment company was on the move and they were there playing. Then Lindsay Sterling played for the ceremony. She's incredible.
I mean, every piece of it, I was like, what is happening?
No, but the cocktail reception, dinner, and after party or party were at a different location. So we had all these London cabs take everyone to the second location.
How fun.
Which was at the base of the pyramids.
Okay. So it was close.
It was close. It was still
but a different location.
Yes.
So you had the Sphinx and then the base of the pyramids. You're making a tour.
Yes. And for that, there were still 3 different locations. So they were right next to each other.
Okay. Like for the different events?
I feel like you need to see the aerial.
I want to see the aerial. You'll send me the pictures.
Yes.
We'll put it on the video.
So the aerial of it makes sense. And so you walk up and there's this first part. There's circles as well. That was like the theme, like eternity, whatever.
Does it come, from like the ring, the eternal, beautiful?
And so it was a circle and that was the cocktail reception.
Okay.
And it was very windy that day. So you could kind of tell that
Things
there was
you can't predict, sure.
But there was curtains to where, you know, you weren't supposed to see
What's
the next
coming
part.
next?
However,
the wind, nature.
I think something over there. I'm like,
nature has other plans.
Yeah, that's fine. And so the curtains came down and then we walked to the dinner circle. And then from there, you didn't really know that there was something else.
I'm sure they anticipated now that they have an idea.
Yes. And then those curtains came down and then it was the
a dance party.
area.
That's beautiful. So everything was in that space. And I'm just curious, the guest reaction, like when you sent invitations, like was the save the date Egypt? Like, or did you just say like, join us abroad? Like, how did you tease that without?
So my husband is a very tech savvy person.
Mm-hmm.
So we opted not to send.
Nothing paper.
No paper.
I love that.
And we also don't check our mail. We're really bad at check. My doorman just came up and was like,
delivers it.
It was like the mailman said your box is full. And I was like, this is so embarrassing.
We're the same. Literally, I was just talking to my fiance and he's like, where's our mail key? I'm like, I don't know, but the super's going to bring the mail in like usually every 3 months. And sometimes like people are like, did you get my mail? I'm like, it's 2024.
I know.
I don't open the mail. Yeah. Okay, so you did all digital.
We did all digital.
On your own platform or did you use a platform?
So the first save the date we sent was an email.
Okay, great.
And
casual for something that would be so extravagant.
Well, and we wanted like casual aspects to things
high-low.
too. Yes.
Yeah.
And the first thing we did, and it was we said Egypt, we said like all of it, we knew all of these things already.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we're gonna have the Grand Egyptian Museum, we're gonna do this. And we immediately knew how many people were coming.
Okay. Like in terms of your guest list.
Yes.
Did you fight over that? Was it imbalanced or were you pretty like, this is our guest list?
No. And we wanted to keep it small.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of big, I guess, for a destination wedding so far away. But
what was the count?
It was 130.
Oh, I think that's nice.
Yeah.
130, like you can talk to everyone.
That was the thing I wanted. I was like, I would need to know everyone at my wedding. I don't want to be meeting anyone for the first time.
I'm the same. I'm going through this right now. 100%.
Yes.
I'm like, if I've never met you in the last 4 years, you don't just get like a free pass to the wedding.
And if someone is engaged or dating someone's very serious and we haven't met them, okay, let's go to
let's make it happen.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, so it was like a nice intimate group.
Mm-hmm.
And the guest list, is Lance Bass your friend or was Lance Bass hired?
No, he's a friend.
I'm dead. That's so sweet.
We connected with him. He actually played, or he sang at my husband's holiday party for Bilt, for his company.
I see.
And so that's when we all connected.
Got
and his husband, Michael, is so great.
Yep.
So they were guests.
So it's so funny. I saw it and I was like, oh my God, Lance Bass just keeps coming up in my life. It's not my life, it's your life. But as like a young gay boy, we were both in the closet and I was obsessed with Lance Bass.
He's the best.
I bleached blonde my hair tips like he did. He had like this sterling silver necklace. I bought one. I saved all my money and I bought one. And I knew all of his choreo. I was like, I am Lance Bass.
Oh my God, we need to see this.
And when you do not, nobody needs to see the bleach blonde tips. And then when he got he came out and then I came out and he got engaged and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not going to marry Lance Bass. This is like 20-year-old me, obviously like many moons ago. So that's amazing because he performed at your after party.
Well, kind of.
Wasn't planned?
No, he wasn't supposed to at all.
Oh, it just like
Griffin
happened.
was our DJ.
I see.
And Griffin was like, if I have a song, will you come up here? And he was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Bye Bye
Can't
Bye
help
comes
it.
on.
And how he can't not.
He comes up, Griffin hands him the mic. We're all like singing with him.
Got it. So that was not a planned part of the evening. But that's like the fun of the spontaneity of something like that.
Totally.
Because as a friend who's a performer, I'm sure you want him to be a guest.
Yeah, we're not going
to have a good time. Yeah, like we love you. Can you work?
Yeah, no.
Awesome. Okay, so then ceremony, cocktails, dinner, dancing, and fireworks. And they lit up the sky.
And that was a planned moment. So we worked with Griffin, who was our DJ, who is so incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know,
but now I'm gonna.
He's so good. I love him so much. But he's incredible.
Based in New York or based in Egypt?
He's based in
LA.
LA.
Europe? Okay, LA.
He's based in LA, but he travels.
Yeah.
And so we planned this with him. It was to his song, Tie Me Down.
Oh.
And he has some different versions of it.
Sure.
And so we were kind of playing with different versions. And there was just this moment. I'm big into music because of the fitness work.
And what you do.
Yeah, a lot of my workouts
100%.
Are based on music. And so Ankur let me take lead on this.
Okay.
He was like, this is so you.
Yeah, do it.
And there was like this massive drop. And however, our fireworks went on for like 3 minutes. So I was like, I don't know how a drop goes on for 3 minutes. And that's when I was like, Griffin, what do we do?
Yeah, how can we edit this to like make it all be in sync?
We worked with him on that. And
that's amazing.
It was epic.
That was the end of the night.
That was
the end of the wedding.
More.
What happened after, like an after party?
No, well, we stayed there, but there was we hung out there for
so that was
like 2 more hours.
Moment.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Because we wanted to have that moment before, if anyone was to go home, like
the cutting of the cake, like
yes.
see it before you go.
Yes.
I don't want you driving away to the fireworks.
Yes.
I love that. So you were saying like that was something that wasn't a priority for your husband. It
definitely was a priority.
Everything was.
That was like, he loves special experiences and moments. So that was definitely a priority.
For him.
But he knew I was better at finding the music.
I see.
For it.
Thank you for clarifying. Yes. I'm curious how you divided the work in terms of like what your priorities were versus his and like how you met in the middle. Because for a lot of couples, it goes a lot of different ways.
We were both very involved.
Okay.
Like heavily involved.
Yeah. I mean, the way he planned your proposal, clearly he is good at this.
We had with our wedding planners, because they were in Egypt.
Okay.
We at first had WhatsApp.
Okay.
We had a WhatsApp group.
The three of you, wedding planner, then two of you. And then it kind of grew.
Yeah. Well, then my husband loves Slack for his company.
Of course
he was
he
like,
does. He's a tech guy.
Can you guys download Slack? We had a Slack for
a Slack wedding channel. Oh my gosh. So you have WhatsApp, Slack, and then of course your own social media, email, text.
It was intense. But Slack was actually the best idea we did with them.
Okay.
So everything was like, oh, here's where entertainment is.
It was like streamlined.
Yes.
Got it.
But I digress. We were both very involved. I think I was more like hospitality, menus, gifting. Like these are the things I'm good at.
Touch
music.
Points.
Yes.
Yeah.
His was more like these. How do I create the most unique experience? Like he was very intense about like, the audio,
he was like
the fireworks.
Big picture.
Yes.
You were more small picture.
Yes.
Got it. Which is a nice balance.
Yes.
Because sometimes you only focus on one and you can't zoom out to like the bigger picture.
And bouncing creative ideas off each other. We were both like, I don't know about that. You know?
Yeah. And it was easy. It wasn't a fight.
No.
Okay, well, that's good.
No. But wedding planning is, I feel like no one told me this. It is so stressful.
Yes.
I cried so many times.
It's the most stressful thing. They say it's like planning your wedding, moving, and dying. Like those are the three.
I didn't know. I heard about the other two, but I never heard about wedding planning. I was like,
yeah. It's a lot. And it's also not even logical sometimes. It's like such an emotional thing that like the smallest thing can set you off. Mm-hmm. I should probably confess. I was with my fiance yesterday and we're planning our wedding. And it's weird because this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I presented an idea that I really loved and I'd spent some time thinking about. And he was driving, which is not his strong suit. And it was stressful. And he just said no. And I fully shut down. I was like, and he's like, really? Like, can we talk about it? I'm like, nope, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. And so but where did that come from? It's like such an, you know what I mean? Like not a thing.
I feel like because, well, you do this for other people.
Yes.
But I feel like most people only do this one time, right?
Yes.
And it's like, you're planning, there's so much time, commitment, energy going into
emotional, mental, physical, all of it.
And like you only, hopefully do it one time.
Yeah, you want to get it right.
Yeah.
I love that. So what were your pre and post events? So now the wedding, which was iconic. Well, also we talk about your fashion.
Oh.
You only wore gold? Was that like a choice? Do you just love gold?
I do love gold. But I felt like for Egypt, it really embodied like the ancient Egyptian nod to ancient Egyptian culture. Yeah. But also, I mean, each moment was kind of different. So
how many looks on the wedding day?
On the wedding day, I only had 2 looks.
Only 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only 2.
Okay.
I didn't want to be that person that was gone so much.
Yes.
I have FOMO.
And that's really big of you because people don't realize how much time it takes. Yeah. You miss from your wedding to go change.
Even the one time I did it, I was so annoyed. I'm like, can we go?
Like, what are we doing? Like, just go fast. Like, walk with me, people.
Yeah. But yeah, I have FOMO. I wanted to be there in the moment.
So you had the ceremony dress with the long train. That was
yes. So that took
chef's kiss.
Thank you. That was Rahul Mishra, and I had originally seen him. I saw Zendaya wearing the most beautiful sari I'd ever seen.
Got it.
On Instagram. Started following him after, and I was I wonder if he can make a wedding dress for me. And I had this vision already that I wanted like ivory and gold, and I haven't used Pinterest in so long.
Yeah. Well,
oh my God.
You have a rabbit hole?
It is a game changer for weddings.
Okay.
So I activated my Pinterest and I like had all these visions and I reached out to them and that was maybe in, I don't know, September of 2023.
Okay.
And so then we started chatting about what could this look like. They
like
drove
what the
out
possibilities
a sketch.
are. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we worked for, I don't know how long that is, 9 months.
9-10 months.
On this dress. And it was there in India. And so it was from WhatsApp and Zoom calls.
You didn't go for a fitting?
No, I gave them my measurements from here. And then some little hiccups happened along the way.
Of course.
And so I wasn't able to go try on my dress and see it in person until the week before we left.
Your wedding. Like the week of your wedding?
Well, we went to South Africa before. So it was a week before we left for that. And I remember the last second I was like, do I need like a backup?
Yeah, like what if this doesn't work?
And I was trying to like look for things just in case. And I knew what I wanted. And I was like, this is it.
It was like, was that one of the first things as a bride that you thought of was your dress? Like in terms of, there's a million things to think about. But for you, where did that rank in terms of?
It really was. I had this vision from the very beginning. I was like, I want gold and I want gold in this dress. And I actually went and tried on a few different dresses in the city. Went to a few places with my mom and dad.
Okay, to have that experience. Yes, wait, and your dad? That's so sweet. Usually it's not that way, but I love that they were both there.
It was really sweet.
Did they cry? Did you cry?
I didn't cry. My mom actually cried.
Okay.
But I was like, just so you know, I'm not going to get any of these dresses. But
we're
I feel
just
like
doing this to do it.
And, you get to see me in like a traditional wedding dress.
Yes, because you're not doing that in India.
Yes.
So that makes perfect sense.
And so, that was kind of the story of my wedding dress. When I went to India, so I went to India with my best friend a week before. It was literally everything I wanted and more.
Got it.
We did have to do some fittings.
Sure. Well, life changes and 10 months. Like
yeah.
normally you'd go 2 or 3 times
Yes.
and like,
Exactly.
you know, but the dress was remarkable. That
Thank
train
you.
was, how long was the train?
Well, I guess I don't know, like feet.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
I was like, you know, they told me something like, this is what it's going to be. And I was like, I think we should go longer.
Maybe they said it in meters?
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And
Some
they were like,
measurement that you were
okay.
just
And so
like,
they did it. And then I was like, oh, it's so long. And I actually, when we tried it on in India, I could walk in it. Like I didn't have to have someone holding
helping. Yeah.
We didn't think about this on the wedding day. It was felt.
Yeah. So it was catching.
It was catching. And so the first time I tried to walk, it just like got
you
stuck.
You couldn't go anywhere.
And so I had to have
And you're a strong person, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
and
that.
And so I had to have someone carry it.
Got it. Amazing.
Yeah. And so that was kind of an ode to working with him, was celebrating my husband's, you know, Indian culture. The gold, a little tie into
bit. Yep. Egypt and the pyramids. Yeah.
And then the white was a little see-through. The ivory was a little see-through.
Yeah,
but
like a nude illusion.
That was supposed to be the
that
Western
That was a WWE
Diva. It was supposed to be all 3. I was like, oh, the white's like a little different. But, you know.
I love that. But you made it your own, which
Yes.
to me is like what it should be. So many people feel like this is the box I have to play in. But it's your wedding day. Like you should make it exactly what you want it to be. So that was look number 1. And then you had one for the dance party?
The after party was I'm going to say this wrong. Henriette.
Okay.
Henriette. And that was with I hired a stylist in Egypt.
Gotcha.
We had one here and one in Egypt.
Okay.
And the stylist in Egypt helped me with that one.
Perfect. Is that an Egyptian designer?
No, she's based in London.
Oh, great.
But we all kind of collabed on what this looks like.
Yep.
We wanted like a gold into white, kind of playing off
Keep
of everything.
Keep it all together.
And my favorite part of that was it had like this little thing that said A+E. They engraved it A+E 426.
So sweet. So it was like right at the center, like while you're there.
Yeah.
And then for pre and post events, what did that look like? You took over the museum?
Yeah. So
is this the new? I went to the old original Egyptian museum. Is this the same? Is the new one. Reopened or a totally new one?
Totally new one. They've been working on it for a very long time.
Okay.
I actually do think now it is open to the public. I could be wrong, but it had still not opened to the public when we took it over.
You were the debut event. This is like every day. Are you sort of like making your coffee and like, what is my life? Like,
actually, yes.
How did
I peaked and like now I don't know what to do.
I mean, it's a real thing. Like, what do you do? I mean, obviously, like you have a career, you have love, you have friends, you go on with life.
I'm a wife now.
Just not at the pyramid or the museum. So you had your welcome party at the museum?
Well, we had 2 nights before our wedding.
Oh, okay. She was a 3-night affair.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going that far.
Yeah, we wanted, and we knew that we could give these cool experiences for everyone.
So why not?
Our welcome party, I don't know if you saw it, we almost missed it.
No.
So we were flying. We had a pre-party in South Africa.
Yep.
With 75 of our guests.
Just a small 75.
Just 75 of them.
Is this like a new trend? You're trying to start like a pre-wedding party?
We were just...
Wasn't a batch trip?
No, it wasn't a batch trip. This was like, I don't know, if you like, we were like, we want our friends to go on our honeymoon and no one would come on our honeymoon with us. We're like, do you guys want to do a pre-party?
Yeah, which is basically your honeymoon at that point. But I kind of love that trend because I think it is fun for your friends to go on your honeymoon. We went to a wedding in Australia and they did their honeymoon right after and like 30 of us stayed. And it was so much fun.
And you get to like decompress about everything that
Gossip
happened.
about all the things, who made out with who looked the best, all the...
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, so you did a South African safari before
with 75 people.
Okay.
And we were supposed to leave to be at our welcome party, to be there the day of it. Like we would land in Egypt at like 8 a.m.
I guess because it's a closer flight. So you thought you could fly the same day.
Yes, 8 a.m. And we were going to do a red eye. And we chartered a flight. They were on their way to South Africa. And South Africa turned them around.
The whole plane?
Turned the plane around, their chartered flight, because they didn't have a landing permit to land. We had a takeoff permit, but not a landing permit.
This is also not their first time flying, I imagine. Like how
we are unsure.
Like you have one job.
Still to this day, we're unsure what happened.
That's wild.
But it was the most stressful. I've never seen Ankur so stressed in his life.
Because he can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they were, we had a lot of people there and everyone's making calls to whoever they can.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out things. It was a very stressful evening. That was our last night in South Africa,
Oh my gosh.
too.
And you're literally trapped.
Yes. And we were doing like a roast and toast that night. We didn't have speeches at the wedding, so we had them there.
Before.
And everyone's like, I don't think we should roast Ankur.
Yeah. Today's not the day.
Do that. We ended up doing it.
Of course.
There was a little less roasting, more toasting.
Sure,
but
because of the situation.
Yes. But eventually, I mean, he was up all night long. And the next morning, we finally got the permit through a lot of—
So you're telling me this plane like literally got close to the airport and then couldn't touch down, had to turn around and go back.
They went to Nairobi and they were sitting in Nairobi.
Waiting.
And
they just couldn't get a permit to land in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. And so then, of course, you know, the crew was going to tie him out and all kinds of things. And so we chartered a flight with Egypt Air. And so they were like sending another flight, like if we could get the permit. It was a
wild
mess. It was a mess. And like, you couldn't just get everyone's like, why don't you just get another charter? You can't because it takes 48 hours. You have to get permits to fly over every single country that you fly over.
Yep.
And that takes
time. Yeah. And each country's clearly not fast at permit giving.
Yes. And so at this point we were like, we may not even make our wedding.
Party.
No, not even our wedding at this point, because we didn't know if we were going to get a permit.
Because of the 48 hours. Yes. And you're giving me stress. That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did it
resolve?
Lot of phone
calls.
And you're also with 75 of your guests.
Yes.
It's like more than half of your wedding is with you.
And the other people are in Egypt.
Already there waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. And so we were freaking out. A lot of phone calls later. We got the permit. We left quite a bit later than we were supposed to.
Sure.
And, you know, we get on the plane. It's fine. We have to land in Nairobi for a fuel stop.
Yep.
That takes longer than expected.
And then it's another takeoff, another landing.
And so, you know, at this point, we're like, we're not going to get to Egypt. This is our welcome party night. We're not going to get to Egypt until 12 a.m.
Wow. Midnight,
our welcome party was supposed to start at 8. And so all of our guests are in Egypt, and we text them, you know, we're so sad. Like, you guys, we still have this amazing party for you guys.
Please
Go enjoy
enjoy
it. Like, take photos. Because we have our photographers and videographers too.
Oh my gosh, with you.
Yes.
So literally the guests are there.
And so we're like, take photos. Let us know what it looks like.
Oh my gosh. Send us WhatsApps.
And Lance Bass and Robin Thicke are there, and they're like, we have this WhatsApp. So we also created WhatsApps with our all the guests, which was so fun.
That's a lot of messages.
I loved it.
You loved
so
it.
Fun.
You're in it. You're like living on it. Okay.
And they text and they're like, no, we're not going to let you guys miss this. We're going to stay up late. Like, we'll start the party later.
No.
Like, we're going to go down to the bar, pregame, like come down. And so all the other guests came down to the bar at the hotel.
Wow.
Like, we're pregame with them, hanging out. They did still go at midnight.
Yeah.
We didn't land until 2:30
a.m.
Because of the time it took in Nairobi.
Oh.
We land, and everyone in Egypt is waiting for us at customs. It's like, go, 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 go.
Yeah, you're a VIP there, so they like know.
And so we get there at like 2:30 a.m. and it was the most stressful moment turned into one of my best memories.
Oh.
We walk up, all the people that are still, you know, waiting for us at the palace, it was at a palace, are standing at the front of the palace just cheering us on.
Waiting
I'm like
for
crying.
you
I'm
at
like,
2:30 in the morning.
Yes. I'm like, this is literally the most supportive friends and family out there. And we stayed there until 5 a.m.
Wow. And then the next day was another party, not the wedding. So you had like some.
So there was some. You got to sleep in until maybe like noon.
Because you had activities.
Because then we had activities the next day. We went and took everyone to lunch overlooking the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did close, the pyramids closed at 4.
Yep.
And from 4 to 6.
You had private tours.
We had private tours.
Wow.
That's just spectacular.
It's a surreal experience to be able to go down. When I went, it wasn't a private tour, but if you brought money, you could bribe them for a private tour. So like that's what I did. But I couldn't imagine being there, not alone, but with friends and family, like in such an exceptional place.
Yes.
I mean, that's got to be
amazing.
chilling. Yeah.
It was amazing.
So then that night was the museum.
Night.
So Palace, Museum, Pyramids was the 3 sort of events.
Yes.
I can't believe that's 2:30 in the morning.
It was a lot.
Wow.
And
it's
so
like,
stressful.
this is why weddings are stressful. Like no matter how much you guys planned, how organized you and your event planners were.
Something's going to happen.
Checked all the boxes. Like something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you could have melted down and it could have been ruined for both of you and all your friends and family. But like How amazing to show up at that hour and everyone's still.
Well, and all of our friends who were on the plane got ready on the plane.
So you were ready to go.
Yeah.
Like you walked off.
We did hair and makeup.
Because all your bags were there.
Yes.
I'm dead. This is kind of amazing. And not what anyone's talking about. They're like the pyramids, the dresses, like Robin Thicke, but Martha Stewart. Why was she there? I love her.
She actually didn't end up getting to come. She was supposed to come, though.
Oh, she was supposed to come.
She was supposed to come.
Got it.
She's one of our good friends as well. And she unfortunately had an event come up in Vegas.
She's the busiest woman I know.
She is.
I'm literally like, what is your
life?
Like just a workaholic? Pot kettle over here. Like I'm not judging you. I'm envious of you.
Yeah.
She's iconic.
I know.
Wow. That's a wild story.
Yeah.
So that happened. And then you had your welcome party at the museum. And was there a brunch after the wedding?
There was.
Okay.
And the brunch was, I had my bachelorette in St. Bart's.
Okay.
So much fun.
Yeah, it's the best. But that flight though is every time.
Yeah.
It's so
honestly,
scary.
People scare me more than so then I was like, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Because in your mind it was
I was
worse.
Like, it's going to be the worst.
So you were like prepared for a scarier moment.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want our brunch day
to be like that.
To be like St. Bart's.
Where did you have your party in St. Bart's?
Well, multiple places. But,
of course. Excuse me.
Every,
how dare I ask singularly?
No. I'm like, we went to a lot of different restaurants.
Yeah. But which one did you recreate, I guess, for your?
Probably like La Garite.
Okay.
Beach.
Yep.
And so we had people go. We got on the Nile. We had all these little like traditional boats.
Yep.
One, they didn't know that they were going to a brunch or an island.
They just knew where to be at a certain time.
Yeah, they were like, are we literally just sitting on these boats? Did they put us on these boats with
to
like
go
hardly
anywhere.
any food and just soda? Like
this glamorous thing, and now we're in a boat on the Nile.
We're hungover. You're not giving us Bloody Marys.
I love it. So this was like a little bit of a surprise for them. Okay.
And so then we arrive at this little island that was our wedding team. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
All of our renderings looked the exact same.
As they were.
Yes.
Wow.
And so.
And who was that through the planner or the designer? Or was it the same company?
Same.
And they're based in Egypt?
They're based in Egypt.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So like you got all the visual renderings before.
Yes.
And you didn't do site visits ahead of time.
We did do site visits.
You did? Okay, so you went to Egypt for your initial first time visit.
We went a couple different times.
And then you went a few other times. Okay, got it.
So we did do site visits, but it's hard to see what things are going to look like.
Of course. Of that scale and in those places.
I'm like, I'm not like a visualizer.
Totally. But most people aren't. Like most of our clients are like, I need to see it. I'm like, it's going to be good. They're like, great, I just need to see it. But also you can't compete with the pyramids.
Yeah.
So like intentionally, I'm sure.
Very.
More like subtle, beautiful, but not like, you can't.
Extravagant flowers everywhere.
You would have had to like, it would have been wild.
Yeah.
So you saw the renderings and then they came to brunch and they were just.
It was so beautiful,
shocked.
So fun. And then my birthday was 2 days later.
What?
So
oh my God, just all the things in once.
It turned into like a birthday party too. All my friends were coming out like they do in St. Bart's. We're coming out with champagne bottles.
100%.
So it turned into like this brunch party too, which, normally it's kind of low key.
Yep.
And I was like, no, we're going in. We're getting
hitting
on
it
tables.
Hard. We're doing it.
And then that was the end.
That's amazing.
And that night I crashed.
Yeah. For like a week, I'm sure.
That night I crashed for 2 days.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What advice or tips would you give to couples, people getting married in terms of planning their wedding? Like looking back, you had a very extravagant wedding, but I think all weddings are the same in like the decisions you make, the emotions, the importance.
Yeah.
But
I feel like staying true to who you are as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
That was really important for us because there's so many things that you feel pressure to do.
Yeah.
Especially traditions, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Even, inviting maybe certain people that your family wants you to invite or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's possible, stay true to you. And what's best for you guys. I think that was super important to us.
Yeah.
Also, just taking a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a deep breath before you hit send.
Got it.
Think about it, breathe. Are you really that upset about what happened?
Meaning you could delete some things.
Just take a deep breath. Really think about, okay.
I love that.
I didn't turn into a bridezilla until the month before the wedding.
Okay.
I was totally chill. I was like, everyone's like, Erika's the
You're
most
like,
chill
everything's
bride
fine.
ever. I'm
Everything's
like,
fine.
yes.
You have a good team. It's
And
all
the
being
month before,
handled.
I was like, why is nothing happening?
Yeah. But were there things like trigger points or just like everything was annoying at that
think
point?
everything. And I was stressed that I hadn't tried on my dress. And
Sure.
I think that was kind of just
There were
triggering
other
everything.
things that were there that were present.
So I think just being present in the moment, taking it in. And that's one thing. Everyone's like, it goes by so quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, we have a few days. It goes by so quickly.
Like in the blink of an eye.
So quickly.
Wow.
And no one
And
else,
you had 4 days. Well, 3.5.
Yeah.
3 days and a quarter. I don't want
3
to
days
diminish
and a
that
quarter.
2:30 a.m. party.
I know.
But that for you just felt like
It went by so fast. And after, I feel like also no one told me they were going to have like wedding blues and be like sad that it's over.
yes. Well,
Like-
you stopped communicating
Yeah.
with everyone.
Yeah.
Your friends are still like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it was amazing, amazing. But like 24, 48 hours,
Yeah.
wedding
It's
blues.
like, I cried so many times.
Oh
I'm
my
like, I'm
God.
so excited to be married. Like, you know, but like he had wedding blues too. Like,
Yeah.
this is, you know, you work so hard and you plan
yes,
so
for
much
so
time into it.
long.
And then it just goes like this. And then like we became friends with our wedding planners,
Yep.
our photographers, everyone.
All your team.
And I'm like, I miss it so much. Like,
Do you reach out to them?
yes.
It's
So,
a real
yeah.
thing. We've had clients like text us like a month or two after their wedding and they're like, can we still talk to you? Like they're like, we used to email you every
Yeah,
day,
it's so weird.
all day. And
It's
now
so
it's just over.
It's like a breakup.
yes.
Like, why?
It's a weird, it doesn't
Why do
have
we
to
have
be.
to break up?
You don't have to. You just can't text all day every day.
Yeah. I do have other clients now.
Yeah.
Planning a wedding can be stressful, but Generation Tux understands. They've designed a suit and tuxedo rental process that you can complete entirely from home. It's easy, convenient, and stress-free. Forget about store visits, last-minute pickups, and ill-fitting suits. With Generation Tux, you'll choose from over 25 premium wool suits and tuxedos, customizable with hundreds of accessories and colors. Plus, you'll get free shipping and delivery 14 days before your wedding. Free replacements, prepaid returns, and amazing customer service. Visit GenerationTux.com for the perfect suit or tuxedo delivered straight to your door.
I have a few questions before we wrap up.
I'm a chatter. I like to talk a lot.
No, well, that's why we're here. I mean, I have so many more questions about your wedding, but these are not wedding related though. What is one thing people would never guess about you?
Well, now everyone knows I'm a WWE Diva. I feel like that would be one.
There's nothing else.
What else would people not guess about me? I feel
Nothing?
Like I'm like thinking. I'm
You're
kind
like
of
a pretty
an open book.
Okay, well, that's fine. Cats or dogs?
Oh, dogs.
Okay.
Jacques, personally.
I mean,
but-
Jacques, I can't. I also have a friend named Jacques, so now every time
You're like, oh no.
where is your happy place?
Ooh, my happy place is on a beach.
Yep.
With a skinny marg
Uh-huh.
and a good book.
Spicy or not spicy?
Oh, spicy.
Okay. I had a feeling we were the same, but I just didn't
A
want to
tahini
assume.
rim?
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, stop. Now I want one. What's your favorite snack food?
Healthy or not healthy?
Oh, that's a fair question. Not healthy.
Okay. I love chips and queso.
Okay. So Texas of you.
Texas
It's who you
girl.
are.
You know, a little Tex-Mex.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, I'm not a great karaokeer.
Karaokeer?
Karaokeer? I don't know.
Karaoke
It's obviously
participant?
not a word, but
Yes.
whatever.
She's not great at karaoke.
But when I have a few drinks,
Uh-huh.
I think that I am Adele.
Okay. Wow, you go right to Adele.
I go
Not
right
even
to it. Like, why? Why do I do that? And then I watch videos back. I'm like,
There should be a
oh.
no video policy at
Actually,
karaoke. It's like it's not
actually.
fair for anyone.
It's no.
Because you should be able to feel like Adele and believe you were Adele for your whole life.
I was until you watch the video.
in that
You're like,
room.
you
Oh
can
my
never
God.
sing again.
How do you stay positive on a hard day?
A few things, I think. I mean, it's obviously hard, and I feel like I'm a very positive person. But
Yeah,
I
you
can't say
give that energy
But you can't be positive all the time.
all the time. No.
And for me, working out is my form of like therapy and release.
Yep.
So whether it's taking a walk, a run, whatever it is, I'm
That'll
instantly
do it.
like, whew,
Wow.
okay, I'm a little more grounded
Yep.
now. And then also just a lot of cuddles from my dog.
That'll do it. So working out and cuddles. I mean,
Working out, endorphins,
that
know?
sounds
Happy
good
people
to
don't
me.
kill their husbands.
Yes. Or well, hopefully
Legally
not.
blonde. Legally blonde.
Oh, okay,
Legally
yes.
blonde.
Yeah. Wait, I was like, what is that reference? And I should know because it's my favorite.
Oh my God.
I hope
I might have like
there's
butchered
like
it a little
rumor
bit, but it's
that
something
they
like
like
that.
we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you could be the fitness trainer in Legally Blonde.
I'm
That
here.
would be.
I'm ready.
I made the one that goes to prison.
Oh, no.
No, but she gets out because she didn't do it.
Okay.
Because the whole story is that it was an
Oh my God,
affair.
I've not seen this so long.
Yeah. It's go back and rewatch it. You'll thank me. It's
I
like
did.
so good.
Oh my God.
Okay, so where can people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and on TikTok
Yep.
at Erika Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find me on my Strong app. It's called Strong by Erika Hammond.
Mhm.
And that's where you can work out with me anytime, anywhere,
Yep.
throw some hands.
I love it.
I'll teach you how to do it. We'll turn those over.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And then are there any in-person classes or everything's digital?
There are in-person classes. So if you're an Equinox member, you can take classes, knockout classes with me in New York City. And then I also have a lot of other trainers teaching those knockout classes as well.
Amazing. So knockout, in person, online. This has been so much fun.
Yes,
Thank you for
so
being here
much.
and sharing all of the beautiful details of your wedding.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, my
and
pleasure.
congrats on your wedding.
Oh my gosh,
Or
thank
coming
you.
up. I'm so excited for you.
Me too. It's not going to be Egypt, but
Breathe.
yes, I need to breathe.
Don't hit send.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now it's time for Ask Jove, where I answer your questions, really anything you want to know. And I couldn't be more excited to be joined in studio by my dear friend Sloan, and we are so excited to ask Jove.
All right, Jove. Today's question comes from Ryan from San Francisco.
Hi, Ryan. Oh my God, I love San Francisco.
You do. We've
I
been
know,
there.
sourdough bread is like just has a
the best
place
type of bread.
in my heart.
All right. My partner and I are passionate about sustainability, and we want to incorporate eco-friendly practices into our wedding.
Great.
From choosing vendors to minimize waste, we're looking for ways to make our special day more environmentally friendly. Do you have any couples who have made sustainable choices that feel stylish?
Ooh, sustainable and stylish.
Sustainable and stylish.
Okay, we have some questions over here. Maybe he's in the family if he's sustainable and stylish. So I think sustainability is beautiful. I think it is important to think about it. I think we have to start the conversation by being very honest. Weddings are wasteful. Events in general are wasteful. A lot of resources come together for a 5 or 6 hour party that then either go in the garbage or go away. So I have to start there. But can we be more sustainable? Can we be more eco-friendly? Can we think more about Mother Nature and the earth in our decision making? 100%. And I think we're starting to see that. I think that that's an important move in our industry. But here's a few tips. The first one is pick rentals over custom-made items. So a rental company exists, and it is sustainable because multiple people are using those things every weekend, every day. So like go rental instead of custom-made. That's easy. Most people will do that without even realizing it's sustainable. Number 2, keep it local. This one is hard, and sometimes photographers don't like when I say this, but we typically, our first pool of people is within 50 miles of the wedding. I do not need to be flying people in if there is talent nearby.
Right nearby you.
I mean, that's airplanes, that's cars, that's just like the CO2 waste alone. When you have local vendors right there, especially here in New York City. Like there's so much talent here.
So much talent.
That why are we flying in a band or a DJ or a photographer unless obviously it's heartfelt or meaningful or a connection. There's always a reason. But source local. Your food should be within 100 miles. Your vendors should be within 10, 15 miles. Like these things, these choices are already making your wedding more sustainable. And your menu should be seasonal. A lot of people don't like that. It's their wedding and they want what they want. Jove, I want what I want.
Makes me think about your conversation with Amy.
Oh my gosh. Yes, 100%. I mean, Amy doesn't fuck around, right? She's like, I will not make something not in season. And I want more of that. And I think from a catering point of view, it's the most delicious. And if these caterers know where their meats and veggies come from, that means they're local and they're fresh. They're not from a big conglomerate that comes from abroad, that goes on a container ship, that goes into a deep freezer, that comes out the week of your wedding, that's then shipped to your location in a box. Like, what are we eating at that point? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, Then we're just got to cover it in some sauce that's coated with sugar or salt so that you don't know that the product underneath is not good.
Lots of heavy cream.
Lots of heavy cream. And I love a heavy cream. But all that to say, local and seasonal are key. And then there are some companies doing amazing things in the space, which I think we have to give credit to. There's the company that is now, instead of taking all of your flowers and throwing them away, they're composting them. And I love that. And yes, you will pay a little more for your breakdown, for eco breakdown, but you will know that all of your fresh flowers will be composted and go back to the earth from which they came, as opposed to the unfortunate truth.
Trash.
It all goes in a black trash bag and it goes to a landfill. And in a landfill, it will not decompose as it would in a compost field. So I think if you can ask your florist about that option, I know we have an amazing company here in New York City, but they're popping up everywhere. You know what I mean? As they should. And also with the floral world, floral foam is a no-no.
Oy.
It's a no-no.
Oy.
It's like it will never decompose, ever.
Some of my favorite Instagram accounts to follow right now are actually florists who utilize all natural materials to make their own like caging and things like that. And it's like some of these techniques are really amazing to watch.
And really thoughtful. Like they're using moss and hay and they're using like, it's really gorgeous. Like you don't have to be stuck on the foam. Yes, it's cheap and easy. So that's why people do it. But there are other alternatives. So know that you might pay a little more, but at the end of the day, that is stylish to me. That is sexy to me. And not all of it, the guests aren't going to be fully aware of your eco decisions, but you will know that you minimized your impact on the earth by making some of these choices. I also think that your paper products, paper is a big thing. If you're open to digital, maybe a digital save the date, a printed invitation, but instead of the reply cards, maybe do a digital RSVP. You know what I mean? That also you get the responses
right away.
So
People
much
are always
quicker.
forgetting their RSVP
And
cards.
everyone's living on their phone anyways. And then for the day of stationery, there's this new like beautiful seeded paper, which is super fun. Or if you use unbleached paper, there are decisions at every turn that can make your wedding stylish and eco-friendly at the same time. Even straws, like there's the war on plastic straws. I get it. It's not the hill I want to die on. I think like there are other environmental atrocities, but it's very of the moment. And we always recommend hay straws. They're literally naturally made of hay, not plastic. It's an easy swap. I think they're like $15 a box.
Very natural looking.
Very natural looking. If that's not your vibe, there are other eco-friendly straws that are not plastic. So yeah, I think keep it local, use rentals, find ways to repurpose or gift anything. And really ask your vendors, like have honest conversations. Like what are the eco-friendly options that you're offering?
And going into like the stylish aspect of it, also be like really conscious of how much you're choosing to add into the event.
Yes.
Maybe you actually choose to do a little bit less.
For sure.
And the things that you do, you put that money and that consciousness towards.
And I think that's wise. Even with your fashion, look at vintage first.
Yeah.
Like buying really cool vintage clothes and then having those altered versus new clothes. And then listen, if nothing vintage worked for you, you tried. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to like die on this hill and have a crunchy granola wedding with nothing because you love the earth. But I think that there is a balance. And I think the industry as a whole is moving that way, but like we can move it
a little
even
faster.
quicker. Yeah. So have a great wedding and have some sourdough for me. Well, that's it for today. And wasn't that fun? Don't forget to send your questions. Again, any questions, send them our way to hi@jovemeyer.com and maybe I will answer them on air. If you can, send a voice memo. I love to hear your voice.
Weddings-ish.
Thank you again for listening or watching Weddings-ish with Jove. This episode is brought to you by Generation Tux, the perfect suit or tuxedo delivered straight to your door. GenerationTux.com. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also super grateful to Mel Flannery for the music on the podcast. She created, produced, and designed all of the music. And don't forget, you can watch Weddings-ish with Jove on Love Stories TV, YouTube, or streaming TV channel. Visit lovestoriestv.com/live for the list of streaming apps.
Weddings-ish.